Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. PlayStation have uploaded another video in their Inside series for The Last of Us Part 2. This one is titled Inside the Details. They've done one for Inside the Story, Inside the Gameplay, which I have a reaction to for the Inside the Gameplay one. So if you wanted to check out what I thought on that, you can head there. I'll have the link provided in the description below. But we're going to watch this one together now today and see what it's all about.
So one of the things that makes Naughty Dog special is our insane attention to detail.
Ooh, tune it, Ellie.
And that comes from just extreme amount of research. So whether it's researching of theme, let's say this idea of retribution or justice, like we would read a ton of books and look at movies and even watch like interviews and news programs about stuff that's going on in the world and then discuss it among ourselves, like what's happening here? What can we draw from this? How can we base these fictional characters on reality to make them feel more authentic?
Our hope with this game is to create the most authentic characters that you've seen in a game. Not just Ellie, not just Joel, but that every character you see is dimensional.
Obviously,
Which is a big step, because obviously the first one, the characters are really fleshed out, whereas this one's going even further and making the enemies, the NPCs, really feel like real human beings, like they have those connections and relationships with each other. So it really grounds the game into reality. Ah, here's my boy Troy Baker.
in telling a character-driven story, you have to create characters. And it starts with a story concept that then can develop into level ideas and more specific narrative beats. Once we kind of have a good understanding of the narrative that we're after, we could start writing scripts. And that's really the first time the characters come to life and they're speaking, even though it's just words on the page. Now they're becoming more specific. And the next step after that is to either bring in the existing cast from the first game, such as Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie, and Troy Baker, who played Joel, or casting new characters. And they're interpreting the material and bringing their knowledge of these characters.
It's really cool to see the behind-the-scenes look of how they make video games, especially nowadays, because you're watching these voice actors, but they're not just in a booth like doing the voice for the characters. They're actually on set, as you can see here, acting out the scene. Like they're filming it with actors, like a movie. And it's funny where they have these props, like that guy just knocked on what I assume is a door, but it's just kind of like a pipe frame. So I guess it would be difficult acting in this space, but that's why they're professionals.
And their take on these characters to life.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
door.
authenticity from every department has been kind of a goal or a focus, whether or not that's in the animations and how we're mocapping, or in the effects and how we're simulating, the different elements to get the effect look that we want in game. We wanted it to be as realistic as possible, as believable as possible, so that as you're playing, you can hopefully get fully invested in it and fully immersed. And we didn't want to have a character moment where it's unbelievable, both from a narrative and visual standpoint.
Some other advances that we've had is like now we can like make veins pop on their forehead if like.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Or likewise, we could redden their skin. Could be based on emotion or could be based on what's happening to them physically.
That's quite detailed.
How red their eyes can get is controllable. How tears flow off their eyes and their face is all new tech that we've developed for this game.
That's crazy.
Hey, we got another trespasser, a girl.
This is exciting stuff.
Additionally, we have this human nuance to our human enemies that makes the situations that you're in so much more terrifying and emotionally affecting than they would be otherwise, because at almost every turn we've gone as far as we possibly can go to make our human enemies feel as human as possible.
That's what I was saying before.
I got something.
Infected?
get in there.
You can hear the enemies calling out, looking for you, and giving you slight little gameplay hints as to what they're gonna do, and so you can try to plan around it.
What is it? Someone took him out!
We got something. I'll go see what's up.
So whether that's the nuance of their awareness system of like what they should know about and when, how they convey knowledge to their friends, to the kind of emotional content of the game. So when they refer to each other by name, when they scream in anguish when they see their friend die,
Ethan!
when they scream in anger as they're like kind of trying to hunt you down or attack you, they feel real, and it makes the situation that you're in feel real in a way that you haven't seen before and you might not be ready for.
There was a ton of research that was done into foliage and different kind of foliage that exists in different parts of the country to make those areas feel authentic, studying local architecture of wherever we are and making sure that feels authentic.
We took 3 trips up to Seattle. We actually got photo scan data of like natural elements in the forests and went through and walked the path of Ellie through Seattle to actually get as much reference that we could. And that was anything from going, you know, inside buildings and taking pictures of signs on the wall to various bus stops and awnings around the world. Like, we're trying to find those kind of iconic details and bring them into the environment.
The amount of detail and research that they're putting into this game is pretty impressive. It's just insane.
Once we get it into the final game, it's like it all comes together to hopefully make something as believable as we can.
Hopefully with all these things combined, it gives you the feeling that you're playing a Naughty Dog game. This is what we go for. I feel like these are all real people. I feel like this is a real place. I feel like this was a real situation that I was in, and then I handled it in a way that makes sense if this was real life.
So that was another quick little look at the detail that they put into the game. As usual, Naughty Dog is just on top of this sort of stuff when it comes to their level of detail. Especially even in the Uncharted series, like when it got to Uncharted 4, it was just a huge leap from where they began. So with a Naughty Dog game, you kind of expect this sort of amount of polish from them, which puts a lot of pressure on them. And, you know, I don't envy the job that they have, but that's why they're game devs, and they're obviously passionate about bringing this world to us in a much more grounded and believable way. So thank you, Naughty Dog, and I look forward to playing your game really soon, 19th of June. I wish it could come sooner, though. But thank you for watching it with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!